One of my Patreon supporters told me about MCDM's Flee Mortals. GameMasters here, and without hesitation, off I went to check out this new book of monsters. What it is a third-party book of monsters made for D&D 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, but it is so much more than that. I have no clue exactly how many new monsters there are in here, but it's a lot. In the table of contents, they are listed alphabetically, and there are what they call new rules, and I'll cover those in a future video, but today I want to thumb through this book so that you guys can see the beautiful artwork and how the monsters themselves are set up. Nothing is terribly different in how you use these monsters in your game versus how you would use the ones that appear in the monster manual, but we are provided with some extra information on how to use the monsters. For example, let's pause here on the Force of Iron. It is an elemental. At the beginning of this section, it goes into deep detail about what elementals are and what drives them. Each beginning section details out how you can add the monsters in that section to your game. Now, continuing on, there are also giants, various lizard folk from grunts to lizard terrorsaurs to hunters, and we have orc and orc-type monsters, and zombies, which has always been a staple in any of the games that I run. Then we have a section called environments. This section provides a neat description of monsters that can be found in specific environments. For example, a bone stalker might be found in and around an enchanted forest. There is also the occasional small map that you'll run across that can be used as a battle map of sorts when you encounter a specific monster. Towards the back of the book is a short list too of magic items. Now I want to jump back to the rotting zombie and take a look at it a little more in depth, but before I do, I want to thank these fine monster supporters, because without them, I wouldn't be able to check out this book with you today. If you'd like to see how you can directly support this channel either through Patreon or by becoming a member here on YouTube, I'll leave information down in the description. Zombies have always been a fun monster for me to throw at players. They have invaded our popular culture going back years, and how they're presented in this Flee Mortals book paints the perfect picture of how I use them in my game. Rotting zombies have what is called a CR, or creature roll, of being a minion, and the DC would be 1/4, which is the standard in D&D for difficulty, for a difficulty challenge. The roll of minions means that there is usually more than one, and that it can do some of its darkened master's bidding. Other creature roles might be an ambusher, and that specific creature can hide very well until an opportunity to strike presents itself. Another role might be a soldier, which are usually well-armed monsters that can pull attacks away from other monsters. Think tank here. There are other roles as well, but for the rotting zombies case, it is a minion and has an armor class of 8. 6 hit points, and has a strength of 13, a dexterity of 6, its constitution is 12, intelligence is 3, wisdom is 6, and its charisma is 5. The rotting zombie cannot be poisoned, nor can it suffer from exhaustion. And these guys are just simply tough to kill. As typical of almost any other given zombie, they usually can get back up to keep fighting, even if you have only thought that you have slain them. I, for one, am very pleased with the monsters presented in this book, and I'd love to ask that if you've got anything out of this video to consider giving it a thumbs up. I can never have enough monsters to throw at my players, and any chance that I get to talk about third-party content, I'm all for it. And I cannot thank Matlock enough for bringing this book to my attention. If you'd like to grab a copy, I'll leave a link down in the description. And be sure to keep eyes out here on my channel, as I'm going to go over some of the new rules and options that are in this book in a future video. Monsters are a critical role to almost any given role-playing game. Encounters in dungeons, encounters in the wilderness, even encounters in enchanted forests, or even possibly on the open seas, monsters are a great way to give players a challenge and of course provide great opportunity for the players to gather up loot. What's been the coolest item that you have ever found after having conquered a monster? Doesn't have to be magical, just what's the coolest item you've ever found? Let me know down in the comments, and until next our paths cross, may you not stumble across a horde of rotting zombies.